Hello everyone and welcome to my channel and welcome to the Gelli printing collaboration hosted by Crafty Michelle. It is a collaboration. There are lots of us working together to create videos for you, so I'd be very grateful if after you've seen my video if you would pop along to some of the other people or all of the other people who are in the collaboration and have a look at their videos too. I'll leave a link, well there will be a link in the description box to all the people taking part, so you can go along and see their videos. So what are we creating today? Well, I thought we would have a go at making, and I've had a little practice, some plaids and checks. So this is the type of thing that I am hoping to achieve today, and I'll just go through a selection of them. Some are better than others, as you know, as is the way. Different colours. Oh, and some plain paper there, because that's exactly what we're going to be using. So you'll need some paper, and I just use mostly, I did use for one of these card, but actually got better results with just normal copier paper, printer paper. You just pop those down, and so you need your jelly plate, you need some paints. You could do the brayer because that spreads the paint out really evenly, and something else you'll need to do this are some strips of paper. Now I've got some cut at, actually those are cut at 1 inch, but most of mine are cut at 2 centimeters. So I've got some strips of paper cut at 2 centimeters, 1 centimetre and 1/2 centimetre, but it's not important. You just want some wider, medium and thinner strips. That's all you need for that. Now it is a bit wasteful because you're going to use them, you can't really reuse them. You could leave them out to dry if you have space and create borders or something from them, but if you don't have the space like I don't, I have decided to use acetate. So I've done the same, cut these at 1 inch or 2 inches, and when you first use them they're actually quite hard to see, but if you clean them with a baby wipe each time, you can reuse them over and over again, and even though you clean them they get grubby with paint, but they're much easier to see and use like that anyway. So I've got those when my paper runs out. It's a better way of you know, not wasting paper if you like, but I shall keep those to the side for now and use them if I need them. I've also got some baby wipes. You could have a sponge and something like that, but I haven't got enough room on my desk with everything for that. So I've got some baby wipes, I've got some kitchen paper, and that's about it really. That's all you need. So oh, I've got a piece of scrap paper by my side that I can use to just roll my brayer on when I've finished, so I don't get in a mess. Okay, so let's start. We're going to start with we can start with yellow, but we're going to start with just a base coat. Just pull a print so we've got something to work with. Pop that there. I'm just covering the plate with a thin layer of sort of a creamy yellow colour. That's where those bubbles are coming from. Okay, and like I said, normal copy paper, printer paper, that's all I'm using. Smoothing it down, and I'll pull that off and we get a nice yellowy one. I think for this first one I'm just going to reuse what's on the brayer because I'm going to try for each one to pull a ghost print as well, so we're using up that paint. So let's just pop that on. Let's find a pencil here. So that's our ghost print. So if you see that and you wonder which sheet I'm using, it's the one, our secondary one if you like. Okay, so we've got a yellow background there. Now something I did find a bit easier, when you've got your paper like that and you've got quite a sort of a large white end, I have cut the end down and that will make it easier to line up, because we're trying to do sort of stripes and checks and things. Oops. There we go. Okay, that'll make it easier for me to line back up each time. Probably won't bother with the other one because it's like a secondary one, so it's not so important. Right, now we need to pick a colour. So don't want anything too dark. I think I'll go for like a pinky one here. Let's see what that's like. So like it's more like a pinky violet, I would say. Pinky lilac. And I'm going to brayer that over the top. Give ourselves another thin layer of paint over the top there. Right. Right, now I'm going to get some strips. So I shall get these ones, and I'm just going to, let's just make normal stripes down here. So I'm laying the strips down. And where you place the strips, I mean, you can choose the depth of the gap. It's the gap that you're looking at, because that's the paint that we're going to be taking. The rest is being masked off. So you're looking at the gaps rather than actual stripes. And where you're putting the paper down, that's what will be left behind underneath, if you see what I mean. You'll get to the drift when I've done them. So that will do us, I think. So I'm going to take my paper, line it up as best I can, put it on top, and I'm just going to press down, and I'm pressing down in particular between the stripes because that's where the paint is, just in there. And then if we pull that off, we can see we've got our first row of stripes. And I will do the same with this one. Do you know what? I am going to cut that end off. I think it will be, I've actually sort of centered this one, but I think I will just cut it down a little bit. There we go. That will make it easier to line up. There's not so much paint left on this one, so it may not do much, but that's why it's called a ghost print, I guess. We're just using up what's left on there. So there's a little bit. Right, let's take those off. It's going to be a juicy one. And we'll go again with the same size stripes, the same type of stripes. But what we could do is change the distance between the stripes, so we could have less of a distance there. So we'll have narrower bands. Like that. And when I run out of white paper, I'm going to have to use my acetate strips, but for now we will use these. I'll use that one because it's a different size, but it won't hurt on there. Right, so we'll pick up our print again, make sure we've got it the right way round, and put it on. Try not to move it once it's on, and just again feeling between those strips so that you're picking up the paint in between. Oops, don't really want to pick up those yet. There we go. Looking good so far. Let me just pop it down there, and we'll pick up the old ghost one and see if there's anything on there that we can take off. Just get a good squeeze between those lines. What have we got going on there? There. And so we're getting a sort of a paler one as well. 2 for the price of 1. So again, we're brayering on some orange. You can choose your own colours, you don't have to stick to the same. I mean, I'm winging it with the colours anyway. Some of mine worked out fine, some of them I was less enamoured with, but you can, you know, use what you have. I'm going to use some thinner strips, and I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with those. Let's just stick them down. Let's grab our print again, make sure we're lining it up, sort of like that. Put it on, and let's try and gather the paint that's in between the strips. There we go. So you can see how we're building up the layers. Lovely. So we're getting a nice sort of pale version of the same thing. Right, let's take the I love this colour. It's a lovely gold. And there we go. Right, what shall we do with these? So you can mix and match as well. You can have large and small strips. We could have a go at that. We could have and pop it on. And again, I'm just squeezing between the strips, grabbing that paint. Okay, and let's take this one, see what we can get from this. What's left? It looks like there's some paint left on this one. Oops. There we go. Let's have, I'm just looking at my print to see, I think I might just do strips going down, just like that. Okay, so I would say that's looking a little bit dark, so I'll perhaps add something sort of brighter to that. Let's see what this one does. Put that on. There we go. Sometimes I prefer the second print to the first one. Make or break, I think, this one. And you can see it's kind of lightened it up a bit. Where that blue was sort of quite gloomy, it's a little less gloomy now. Pop that on here. Not sure much came off there, or it did, but it's hard to see because it was quite creamy coloured anyway. But anyway guys, you get the idea. Oh, I like that. Pretty good. I don't know if there's much of that left to go on there, but we will see. I'll just give it a bit of a helping hand. Yeah. Oh, there. I like that one. Different, very different. And we'll just see if we can get a ghost print from that. Oops, come along a little bit. There. Obviously there's less paint, so that's why it's called a ghost print, because you've used the premium pull to get your best work, and then this is just using up some of the paint that's left. There, equally nice. Right, thank you folks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Please pop along and see everybody else's projects and see whether or not you want to subscribe, and if you liked what you saw here, please subscribe to me, and I'll be back with another video soon. Bye for now. Hello folks, just popped back to show you what I've done with a couple of the Gelli prints. I've made some very large sort of faux postage stamps. That's just the Gelli print on the back, and there's a ticket and a bird on the front, and then I've just stenciled some black paint over the top in sort of postal marks. But I just thought I'd show you how I was using these. I mean, you can use them for lots of things. And one other thing, I was going to show you some of the ones that I had made. So let's have a look. Oh, that's what's left of the one that we made together. But there's some different ones. I mean, that looks like it's not finished. It could probably add a bit more. But, there's lots of different styles and things you can do. But some of the ones I've got are a little bit grungy, and then they were, they didn't really look like plaid or check or anything. So I just took some Posca paint pens, like this one, and drew some lines on it. And I think that also helps it look a little bit more, look a little bit better. So that's a little tip that you could do if you weren't happy with like this one. I would probably add a little bit of white on that with a ruler. So there you go. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye for now.